Hello friends and welcome to Art with Miss P this week. This week's lesson is going to be all about a winter bird, specifically a cardinal. I was noticing the other day around my bird feeder, I had lots of winter birds out there. I had some blue jays and I had a lot of cardinals. So I thought it would be nice to draw a winter bird, a cardinal, because it's nice red color, sitting on a tree limb with a nice beautiful background, and it's snowing. So this is an example of what we're going to do this week. We're going to draw this bird. It's going to be the focal point of your lesson, so it's going to be big. And then I'm going to show you how to draw a pine tree, which is an evergreen, so it stays green all year, or one that has winter berries on it. And then we're going to have snowflakes. I colored this one with a light blue background, so you'll have some choices on what color background to do your winter bird. So what you need for this project is your pencil and eraser, a white piece of paper, and then whatever you want to color with. In the classroom this week, we used crayons, but you can use crayons, markers, color pencils, or a combination of all of those. So gather up those things, friends, and meet me over in my studio, and we will get busy on our winter bird project. Hi again. Just real quick, you might notice the video is a little bit different this week. Not too much, but you'll hear me say some things that might not make sense to you guys at home. That's because I'm out of the classroom this week, so I had to record this video for my kids in the classroom too, so the teachers could run my video for them during art time. So you might hear me talk about pausing the video, or whoever is in the room with you right now, do this. So just ignore all that. That's for my kids that are in the classroom. For you guys, just follow along with the lesson and draw and color like I'm doing, and you'll be just fine. And don't forget to send that beautiful artwork to me over Google Classroom, or have your parents email me, because you know I love to see your artwork. Thanks, guys, and until next time, peace, love, and sparkles from Miss P. Okay, friends, so you should have all the materials that you need for this project with you, your pencil, eraser, and your white piece of paper. Make sure it is turned horizontally. All right, going back to the example real quick, we're going to draw a cardinal in the middle of our paper sitting on a branch, and this branch is going to go diagonally across our paper. And then we'll have another one up here. So the main focal point of this drawing is going to be this cardinal. So we're going to draw this cardinal big. So don't draw small when we get to this cardinal. All right, so let's get your pencil and paper, and the first line you're going to draw is going to be a diagonal line right here. Now it goes almost to the top of my paper, but not quite. This line is going to be the back of your cardinal. To get the body of your cardinal, we're going to draw a half circle right here. So I want you to take your pencil and draw a half circle. Remember, you can turn your paper if you need to help you draw this half circle a little bit better. I always like to turn my paper as I draw, and you are more than welcome to do that too. All right, so it looks like a big capital D that is on a diagonal. So if you have a capital D that looks like it's on a diagonal, you are good. So this is the back of our cardinal. This is going to be the head. So the face will be about right here. This is the belly of the cardinal. So now we're going to add the tail to our cardinal, which will be right here. So we're going to come off the back, this line right here, off the back of the cardinal, and we're going to continue it down to right here. And then we're going to have a second line that comes out right here. And if you notice, I drew that line slightly diagonal. All right. This is made up of a bunch of feathers that have folded together. So the end right here is not going to be straight. It's going to have a little bit of a ripple to it, like that right there. So it looks a little bit uneven, like the tips of the feathers are lying together. And then, you know, we'll have a few lines on it like that. That we'll do that in black with a black crayon later. But these look like the lines of your feathers as they fold together. All right, now we're going to put a wing right here. Now this bird is not flying, the cardinal is sitting, so the wing is folded in. So the wing, the bottom of the wing is going to come down to right here, and then it's going to loop back around. So right here, we're going to draw a line that comes right here at the base where the tail and the bird's body meat, and it comes around like this, almost like drawing a teardrop. Notice I did not make these two lines meet. So let's get that shape drawn. We are going to erase where the wing covers up that line right there. So this would be a good time for me to remind you guys, draw light until it's right. Light lines are easier to erase than dark lines. And then for the tip of the wing, we're going to have, again, kind of a little jagged edge like that right there. So these are some feathers. Now we can come back in and put a few lines in there for our feather lines, and we'll outline those with a black crayon in just a minute. All right, so this is the top of our cardinal's head. A cardinal has a very pointy head. So if you drew this correctly, you should have a point up here. If you don't have a point, we need to go ahead and put a point right here. But if you have a point, you're good. If you don't, go ahead and fix that so you have a point. So about right here is where our cardinal's eye is going to be. So we're going to draw a half circle right here with a circle inside it like that. This is going to be the black part of your cardinal. That's it right there with a little white eye. And then coming off of that, we're going to draw a beak. And it's just a triangle shape right there. All right, so now we've got our cardinal. The head, the body, the wing, and the tail. So we have not put the feet on our cardinal yet, and we're not going to do that until we get our branch. So coming across diagonally, like my pencil, we are going to draw a branch. And for some of you, that branch may go behind your cardinal's tail. It may not. It just kind of depends on how you drew this tail. But I'm going to come out right here, and I'm going to draw a line. Now, I'm not going to draw through my tail, because if I do, I have to erase it. So we're going to skip over and be super careful right here, guys. You want this branch line to go super close to the belly of your bird, but not touch it. So don't let it touch. And okay, so you can decide how you want your branch to end. You can have it come off the page and branch out to other branches like that. You could just have it run off the page. It's your choice. I'm going to make my decision after I get my second line. So you're going to come right here and draw a parallel line to this line right here. Remember, parallel means two lines that run side by side, but they do not touch. Now from here, I'm just going to let this branch go this way. I'm going to let this branch go that way. And I am going to split my branch off like that and let it run off the page. But you can totally figure out how you want to do yours. So now that we've got the branch, now we know where the feet go. So I'm going to give you just a minute to get your branch finished. And if the video needs to be paused right now for you guys to catch up, this would be a good time to pause it. Okay, so you guys got your bird, got your branch. Now we need our little feet on our bird. So we're going to come right under the belly, and I'm going to draw two parallel diagonal lines for that leg and two diagonal parallel lines for that leg. You want to keep them the same size, guys. You don't want to make them too thick either, but you don't want them skinny, skinny, skinny. So just two parallel lines that run side by side, and then you're going to put the claws of your cardinal like this. You want to make sure that those claws, give him three, those claws are on the branches. You will erase the branch that comes through the leg because the leg covers it up. So we've got our bird's legs, our three claws, and make sure those claws are on the branch so it looks like it's grabbing a hold of the branch. All right, so now let's come right back here, and we are going to draw right down here a horizon line. And this horizon line can be straight or slightly curvy like I did mine, or you can make it straight. You do not want to make it too crazy curvy. So don't do super curvy, just do a little bit curvy. And then right above this horizon line, we're going to do a jagged line. This is going to be the line of what would be treetops. So it's going to kind of be jagged. So Let's get that done. Now it's going to disappear behind here and disappear behind my bird. I might see a little bit of it right there. Disappear behind my bird, and then it's going to pick up again right here. And I'm doing different heights because when you look at trees off in a distance, they're going to have different heights to them. Now this is what we just drew right here. We're going to color that green so it's going to look like a tree line in the end. All right, up here, since we've got a big empty space up here, I'm going to draw another tree branch. So I'm going to do my parallel line, and I'm going to split this tree branch like this and let it run off the page. You can do your tree branch ever how you want to do it. You can even have it come in at this angle if you wanted to. I just did it this angle because it fills in that space and it looks nice. All right, so now we're going to add in some details. On this drawing right here, I use this tree branch for my pine needles, and I use this tree branch to have winter berries. You will not have both on the same branch. So these are two different trees. So here are your choices. So listen up, friends. You can have a branch with just winter berries, and you can do the same thing here. You can have a branch like it's a pine tree both here and here. Or you can do one of each and pretend that you have two different trees. The choice is yours. I don't care which choice you make, the choice is yours. So if you're doing a pine branch or a pine tree, here's what you would do. You would, I'm going to have a little branch right there and a little branch right here. And then I'm going to have a couple more right here, and I think I'll put one right here. Now, here's how you do pine needles. They are just lines that come out. If you want to draw it in pencil, you can. It might show through on your crayon. I have a box of 96 crayons, so I have different shades of green. So I was able to cover my pencil lines up because I have 3 different color greens I'm using. If you're worried about pencil lines, then just do this with your crayon. If you are not worried about your pencil line because you've got some dark greens and some light greens, then you can cover them up. But what you'll do is you'll just draw lines that come out like this right here. Think of pine needles as you see them on a pine tree, and it kind of comes around like that. And then you'll have some more over here. If they touch and overlap each other, like these are right here, don't worry about it. That's what they do in nature. Over here, my pine needles are running off of my paper. And this one, I'm going to have you'll see the pine needles right here, but the rest of them have run off the edge of my paper. And then I've got some pine needles right here. Now, I'm not going to draw very dark in pencil because I really don't want my pencil lines to show. But I'm going to cover my pencil lines with my green. If you want to wait and do that with your green crayons, you can. All right, if you're doing the winter berries, like on this bottom branch right here, then you'll just have a little stem that comes off, and you'll draw a cluster of berries. So draw a few berries like that, and you might have another cluster up here. Some of these berries will overlap like that right there, so you don't see the whole circle. And you'll just randomly put a cluster of berries along your branch. Now, these berries are usually various shades of red and pink. So you'll color these red. And if you've got a box of crayons with a lot of different colors of red, then you'll use various shades. All right, so we have everything drawn now. So now it's time for our snowflakes. And remember, in art class, guys, we just do circles that are scattered across our paper for snowflakes. So I'm going to scatter these circles that are going to be snowflakes. Now, it is snowing, so that means there will be some snowflakes that will fall in front of our bird, down here onto our trees, down here onto our ground, which we're going to leave white. So scatter these snowflakes out. They do not have to touch. You do not need 1,000 of them, but you will need a few scattered across your paper like that. So now we have everything done in pencil. So this would be a good time to pause the video if needed to give everybody a chance to catch up before I move into coloring. Okay, so everybody should have everything done in pencil. Now, if I were in the classroom with you, this is the time I would say, now it's time to Sharpie. You don't have Sharpies, so you've got a couple of choices. If you want to outline everything with a black crayon, you can. In this example right here, I outlined a couple of things with my black crayon. I'll get to that in just a minute, but you can just jump right into coloring if you want to. So the first thing we're going to do is get your black crayon, and let's get this colored right here. Now, I am outlining this right here in black. I am also outlining the eye. Outlining does two things. Number one, it gives you a nice crisp edge. Number two, it lets you know where to stop coloring and reminds you don't color that eye in, because if you color the eye in, then your bird doesn't have an eye. So let's get that colored black. So everybody get your black crayon and let's color this black first. All right, this is the only thing we really have to color black. Now, down here on our snow, if I don't outline these snowflakes, you will not see them. So we need to outline these down here on our snow. But if you want to outline all of your snowflakes, do that with your black crayon. For this example, I am going to outline my snowflakes in black, all of them, even those up there in the sky. So let's get that done. And remember, anytime the video needs to be paused, just hit the pause button. Okay, so I went ahead and outlined all of my snowflakes, so now I know where my snowflakes are. All right, I am going to go ahead and get my yellow and color my beak. Now, you can color the beak yellow, you can color the beak yellow-orange, whatever you have. If you have a yellow-orange crayon, if you don't, then you can do a little mixing like I'm doing right here with my yellow and my orange. So I did yellow, then I did orange. Now I'm going back over my orange with my yellow to mix it in a little bit. You don't have to do that, just showing you an option. And then, of course, if you have a big box of crayons with lots of choices, choose like a yellow-orange for the beak and then yellow for the legs. All right, for the cardinal. Cardinal's straight up red. Now, you want to be careful and make sure you don't color in any of your snowflakes that are on your cardinal. And when we color all this red, the wing and the tail is going to blend in. So you want to take your black and you want to outline this wing right here. And you want to outline a little bit right there to separate the tail from the body and the wing from the body. Also right here, let's go ahead and use your black crayon and get your feather lines in like that. Now you are ready to start coloring your cardinal. I am going to outline my entire cardinal with my red crayon. So that is a reminder to me where to stop coloring. Also, it gives a nice crisp edge to your coloring. So outline first and then color your cardinal red. Okay, don't you wish we could all color that fast? I really didn't color that fast, friends. I sped up my video. So right now, you may not have finished coloring your cardinal, but just stop for 1 second and just kind of listen. because you can always go back and continue coloring in just a minute. So I've got my whole cardinal colored, and so I am now done with my bird. So I am now going to move to my tree branches and my pine needles right up here. So our tree branches are brown. So I am going to color the tree branches first, and then I'm going to come back and do my pine needles. So I'm going to color this one really quick right here to show you how to do the pine needles. Now I am coloring right over my pencil lines with my pine needles, and I know that, and that's okay. So if you drew your pencil lines in, drew your pine needles in pencil, then just color right over them with this brown crayon, because our tree branches are brown. And of course you'd come down here and color that one brown in just a minute. All right, so I've got a couple of greens right here because I've got this big box of 96 crayons. So I've got one called asparagus, I've got one called forest green, and then I've got this one that's just straight up green. So here's how you can do your pine needles. Just take your one of your greens and randomly do your lines like this right here. I'm just going over my pencil lines, but not really. I'm just kind of doing my green so that it covers up my pencil lines. And they're going to overlap, and that's totally fine. And then I'm going to switch colors, and I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm just going to come back over that green with this green right here called asparagus, and just mix them in there. You want them to overlap, because if you look at pine needles on a tree, that's what they do. They overlap. And if you did not draw your pine needles with pencil, then you'll just be doing this with your crayon. But as you can see, because I've got different color greens in here, I'm now going to switch to this forest green. My pencil lines have disappeared. Now, if I didn't have all these different color greens, you might still see your pencil lines, which is why I said you might want to have the option of just doing this in crayon first. Now, if you don't want to do a pine tree, you do not have to do a pine tree. Your choice. But if you wanted to do this down here on this branch, that is how you would do it. So for the berries down here, get this branch colored brown. So I'm going to go ahead and do that really quick. So go ahead and either go back to your cardinal and finish coloring your cardinal, or start coloring your branches wherever you are on this step. And I'm going to get this branch done, and I'll be back with you in just a minute. Okay, so once again, guys, just stop for a second, look up here so I can show you how to do this. I got this branch colored brown, so I am now done with that. And I have a bunch of different reds. I've got straight up just red. I've got red violet. I've got this one that's called Jazzberry Jam. I've got this one that's called Razzmatazz. I've got lots of other reds in this big box, but I'm going to choose these 4. So just get your red crayons. If you're able to get a variety like I did right here, that's awesome. If not, then just use what you have. Just use your red, your pink, whatever you have. All right, so these berries right here are going to be different shades of red. So I'm going to just randomly color a few of my berries using this Jamberry Jam color, which is kind of a nice little red pink color. And then I'm going to come back, and this is Razzmatazz, and color a couple of berries this color. So you just want your cluster of berries to have a couple of different shades of red. And this is just straight up red right here. So you'll just color your berries like this, different shades of red, and then a red violet. And that is how you would do winter berries on your tree. And if you want to have both of your branches be winter berries, that's fine. Or you can have both of your branches be the pine needles. That's fine too. That choice is certainly yours. All right, so let's talk about this green tree line right here. So I'm going to take my green crayon and I am going to outline the top of my tree line right here, green. I'm going to outline my horizon line right here, green. So I know everything in between these two green lines are going to be green. And if you only have one shade of green, then use that. If you have crayons where you can do different shades of green, then mix in some different shades of green. So I'm going to go ahead and get this colored. So now you go back to picking up where you left off and continue coloring. Okay, friends. So I have my tree line right here colored, and I use like 2 or 3 different shades of green. Now you can also use, if you wanted to, like a blue green mixed in with those greens. That's fine. You can do that. So now the only thing left to color is the sky. So remember, down here is going to be white. So that we're going to, it's like it snowed on the ground. So we're going to leave that white. Our snowflakes stay white. So now I'm going to color in a blue back here. For this example, I used a crayon that is called Sky Blue. But you can use any shade of blue you want to use. You can use straight up blue. You can use blue green. You can use a purple, a blue violet, or any shades of blue you have, especially if you've got a big box like I do. So I'm going to color my sky. So while I am doing that, you guys continue your coloring, and I will stop you in just a minute and we'll wrap things up. Hey friends, so just stop for a moment, attention back up here please. All right, so I did my sky an indigo color, which is that blue purple color, much darker than my sky blue. Just wanted to do something a little bit different here so you could see the differences. Up here, if you do pine needles, I use my crayon and I didn't press very hard, I lightly colored in right over my pine needles so that the blue sky looks like it's filtering through those needles. And then I went back over it again in a few spots with my green crayon. So that's how I handled the pine needles. As you notice, I did not color my snowflakes. So I have completed my bird, and I have a winter cardinal with my snowflakes sitting on a branch.